And it appears we are live on a Sunday evening for some, Monday morning for others, all depending on where you are on this lovely little globe, third rock from the sun, as they say. Greetings, one and all. It's Ben here. We have Shane from Intheblues joining me tonight, and we may have Richie pop in. He's still doing the pre-wedding planning. It's the last week. Texts are flying back and forth, so we shall see, folks. How you doing today, Shane?
Yeah, good, thanks. I haven't been up a whole lot of time, so excuse me if I'm yawning and sound a little bit sort of, croaky in the throat. But
let's see, you play guitar and it's before noon. I think it's allowable.
Yeah, I was up pretty late last night. I had played live and just feeling it a bit on the Monday. So it's all right. It's all good.
It's been a while since I've seen you. All of apparently 22 hours, I would say, approximately.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, school community hangout.
Yeah, it was good. I used to do them way more often than I have been lately, but they're always good fun.
Yeah. I try to do one a month myself. Just like, if nothing else, it puts faces to names and just grows the community, I think. And yeah. Let's see here. We've got 18 people watching. I'm just going to quickly see who we have in the chat here. I always like to check on the crew. We got Michael B, EJ's Guitars, Pooh Ninja, Paul Millard, Guitar Hack, Jeff Ripplinger, GTV, Guitar TV. Wow, we got a bunch of people. R2R3, my brother, the Great Vanzini, Stephen K. Welcome. Guitargirlkb, Jason Wade. Yeah, a few familiar names and such, I'd say.
Yeah, totally.
Charlie S. Fender Guru. Very nice. Fender Guru is probably tuning in from work, if I know him correctly.
Yeah. Where's he?
Hamilton, New Zealand.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at trying to remember where people are from. It's so hard to keep track of everybody. I mean, a lot of the regulars I remember, but it can get a bit tricky trying to remember all that, where everyone is.
Oh yeah, and it's funny too. And when you talk to someone who's not in the YouTube community, and it's like, yeah. So I was talking to Fender Guru, and he was saying that R2R3 Lockingnut was saying, and they're just
yeah.
What? Huh? Yeah,
that's it. That's cool.
First time I had R2 on, he's like, you can call me his first name. I'm like, no, you're R2 to me. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. Even with guys I've met in person, like Steve from Boston and a few of these other guys. Like before he had changed his obviously his username, he just wanted to keep calling him Pixie all the time. It's like,
sure.
No. He's got a first name, and he's probably thinking the same thing. So
yeah, exactly. I know that took me a while, and it's funny. Like Tone King, like you'll refer to him literally either as usually Lewis or TK.
Yeah.
Somehow,
absolutely.
Yeah. But it's great. Hey, we got Mr. BHB, Bruce in the house. Good to see you. Julian Patrick, Bronte Glenn. Man, that's a mouthful. Winnipeg. Nice. Fellow cool. Canuck. Excellent. David Ennis. So if you guys have any questions for either of us, let's fire away. And you were saying, yes, after the hangout last night, you went out and did some gigging. How was that?
Yeah, I played. It was fun, actually. It was a good night. We got to make some noise. I found out I was getting this really weird sound coming out of my amp, like it lost all of its low end. And I was thinking, this is the Marshall. And I thought, oh, no, what's going on? I ended up finding out my pot on my guitar's gone faulty. So when I turned down, it was like scratchy.
Right.
And it was literally cutting, I think, the majority of the circuit off the guitar. So as soon as I went on 10, it was awesome. And then like as soon as I backed it off, I was losing all my tone and I couldn't work out. I'm fiddling with my amp the first few sets, and then I realized it's the guitar. So I've got to replace the pot and the PRS. I can't believe it. But overall, it was a good fun night. Like we do that jam every Sunday, and it's it's good fun. I used to run it for a few years, and it's just a good way to keep the live chops up, try some new songs, and just hope for the best, and last night we had a good couple of quality players there. It was a quiet night overall, but one of my sort of local guitar heroes was there, so it was good. He sort of makes everybody play better. He's one of those kind of guys.
Right.
Otherwise, you just look like a like you've never touched a guitar in your life. So you gotta step it up. It's good.
I hear you. I hear you. Soda Pop asks whereabouts you're out of.
Oh, Melbourne. Yeah, Melbourne, Australia.
There you go. He's like, sounds like an Aussie. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably not. Maybe not as what we call ochre as some of the Australians here, but yeah, I've learned how to clean up my speech over the years a little bit. When I first started YouTube, I realized how poorly I pronounced a lot of words. Because no one could understand me back in the day. Yeah. No, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to have to fix this up. And I guess spending a lot of time overseas too made me pronounce words a lot differently as well, because not that I've changed the way I speak, but I think I just try to pronounce words better than I used to. Yep. Still not very good, but way better.
Try to go for that neutral accent, I guess.
Oh, just, yeah, just make sure that I'm pronouncing even Australia properly. I never used to say it like that. This is Australia. This is like, what does that even mean? So, yeah, it's an eye opener sometimes when you're somewhere else. Hey Jamal, how are you, man?
Yeah, Jamal's here, and Frank C. Let's see here. I got asked, have I tried the Vinum pickups yet? No, actually. Between the new guitar and I'm currently designing a set of Telecaster pickups myself, so I'm kind of preoccupied with that right now. So I haven't had a chance to try out any Vinum pickups yet. Famous last words.
Jamal said there's no stream, but I just said, oh, maybe try refreshing it if it's not working. But it looks like it's working on my side, so I don't see any problems.
Yeah, it seems like the chat's interactive here.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, I was checking on David Stafford. Yes, he had some shoulder surgery, so hopefully that's doing well. And there's Lando.
Hey, how are you?
Lando, I take it you survived the tornado, thankfully. We had a tornado go through the nation's capital this week. So.
Oh, really? Far out. I'm so out of touch with it. I've been house sitting this week, so I'm like haven't caught up on any of that stuff. Far out. I'm sorry to hear that. That's no good.
We don't get many tornadoes in this country, so
I didn't think you would, based on your climate. We don't get them really here either. So
yeah, climate and just the terrain. You need that open space, I guess, a lot, like the Midwest America. Even out west, we don't really get them. So too cool.
We get them up north more than like where I live in this part of the country. We don't get a lot, and that would be like the exact opposite of where you are. So we get these water spout things that come up out of the ocean and just like destroy like an outdoor dining set or something, and then they go away. Like they're useless.
Right.
We will, those we will rebuild memes where there's like a plastic chair that's flipped over on a nicely lawned, nicely mowed lawn. Yeah, that's kind of like the extent of those things down here. But up north, we get the cyclones, which can wreak havoc with the tropical storms. But I'm nowhere near there.
Yes. Yeah, because you're on the southern shore. Are you not? Yeah. I like to pay attention.
Oh, okay. I see what Jamal was asking. He said, "It was So usually we stream I don't, but my friend Alex streams the jam to the Facebook page for the jam. But we're a drummer short, so I played drums for probably 3 sets, and the guy who streams pretty much plays drums as well. He was on the kit the whole night basically, if he wasn't playing guitar. So there was no stream last night. I didn't understand what he meant. Yeah. All right.
We got a question. Stephen K asks, what's your favorite guitar by looks and also by tone? For me, it's a Telecaster. And and I can't even narrow it down to an exact finish because there's about 8 of them I want,
Yeah, I would say probably visually, I've got a couple. Visually is probably not a Telecaster. I would say the ones that I like the most have been Nick Huber Orca 59, Duesenberg Star Player TV. Visually, they're just beautiful. I actually even like some of the Gretsch guitars visually, but I don't play them at all. I'm not really a Gretsch guy. Telecaster for playability and tone, and I love my PRS SE, and that visually, initially wasn't what I would normally go for, but I love that. I love playing that guitar. I play it all the time. So that's probably the easiest guitar for me to play. The Tally's a very close second in terms of playability, but tone-wise, the Tally's great. So
yeah, I agree.
I go through phases with stuff too. Like
yeah, as much as you love a flame maple top, I also love just a sparkle paint job too.
Yeah. So I'm a very yeah, I'll go through phases where I want to play a 335 for a month, and then you know, and there's nothing wrong with those guitars either. So it just depends on the mood, really. But yeah, the guitars I've kept the longest are the ones I like the most, you know, and the Tally would probably be the top of the list for me, the 52 that I've modded a lot.
Right. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I can't complain since yeah, I've modded both of my original Telly. So if anybody mods a custom shop or an original, I just say keep the original parts, and as long as you don't have to drill into it, I'm happy.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm all about functionality too. Like the pickups that I got with my 52 reissue, I like the bridge one. I didn't love the neck pickup, and you know, you get a lot of buzz in a lot of venues here too. So because we've got these trams and railcar things that go by. So for me, it was just like I put the Joe Bardens in, and I've pulled them out twice and put other pickups in, and then I've lasted a week and I put the Joe Bardens back in. So
well, aren't they kind of give you a kind of a Danny Gatton sound?
Yeah, that's what they are. They're a signature pickup. So yeah. But they just sound like a Tally. They just don't buzz, and they look like a lot of people will see them and they'll look like hot rails, and that's what everyone thinks they are, but they're not. They're 4K ohm output pickups, so they're really low. They're like vintage spec output. Or I think it maybe ones. I think I got the modern bridge, which is maybe a 5 or something, but they're not a hot rail at all. They're nothing like that. It's funny because I know a lot of pickup builders. And the one that I chat to every now and then he's from Canada as well, actually. He says the only good noiseless Tally pickups are those because of the way that they're made. He goes, they nail it, you know, and that's coming from a guy who's like their competition. So he goes, they're the best of pretty much the best of their kind.
Right.
But yeah, I love them. I love them. I reckon they look cool too.
They do, and like you say, you know, they think it's one thing. You know, people will think it's one thing. Like, why would somebody jam in some Seymour Duncan hot reel mini humbucker abomination into a Tele? You're like, no, man,
no, they're not at all. They're nothing like those pickups. And I mean, you know, people can do that if they want as well. It's all up to whatever they're playing. But yeah, these are, you know, I've never played another neck pickup in a Tele that I like more than the Joe Barden in mine. Except for one, which I played from a custom shop Fender Tele. It was this black one. It was beautiful. It had the best neck pickup I'd ever played. But the guitar was $5,500. So that's where that ended.
Yeah. I can understand that for sure. They are nice to play from time to time, but yeah, that's true. It gets to the point where you're like, yeah, even if you're out playing, you know, it's like, how many gigs do I have to do just to somewhat justify this purchase?
Yeah, that'd be like 550 gigs or something. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, a lot of the gigs I do, they don't really pay much, and I don't really chase them much anymore. Like I still play probably every 6 weeks with my actual band, sometimes once a month. But I only tend to play at the places I know now. Like I don't really go out and sort of chase new venues and that. Sometimes I will, but it's just not something that really excites me. It's too time consuming for too little of a return other than just the fun of playing live. So I just play at the places now that either contact me or I can just shoot them an email and book something straight away. Otherwise, I just don't enjoy that whole process.
Yeah. The business side. Sometimes
especially when it's your own band as well. Like you're the guy that does it. If you don't, no one else does. And then, you know, after so many years of booking gigs and doing two gigs a week or 3 or whatever it was, it just gets old. And then eventually, you know, you're playing the music you love, and then eventually everyone wants more ABBA or whatever in the mix. It's like, no thanks, I'm done.
I do all the booking for our band, so it's weird. Our bass player comes up with these contacts, and all he says is, "Don't talk to me," and he hands them my contact info. And then half the time he forgets to even mention to me that he was talking to this person. So I get, "Hey, I'm looking." I'm like, "Okay, well, let's sell the band and play the game and all that." But I was actually listening to one of your albums today at work.
Oh, cool.
Yes, This Drive.
Yeah,
loved it.
What'd you think? Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, it reminded me of adult contemporary blues.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of going for. Something a little less guitar noodly. Yeah.
And it was great in the store. And like clientele's come back, they're like, "Hey, what's this?" And one guy who's a bit of a gearhead, he's like, "Bonamassa?" I'm like, "Nope." He's like, "Who?" And then so I took a screenshot on his phone. And I said, "Here you go, check it out." So
yeah, cool. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that album was sort of like it was inspired. I'm doing this JJ Cale sort of tribute album thing at the moment. That album was kind of like a mix of the stuff I like. It's kind of got the blues, country blues. I hired a pedal steel player as well to do some of that. I think it's on the 3rd and 4th track or something. We got him in to do some stuff. Well, he did it remotely from Michigan, but yeah, he's a monster player. And I wanted that sort of JJ Knopfler and sort of Van Morrison-y sort of sound, that kind of mix of stuff. I've already done a lot of guitar albums, just like lots of guitar playing and heavy blues sort of stuff. But I wanted one you could put in the car and not really think about it. That was the goal with that. Just put it on and sort of drive and have something on the background. It's probably one of the ones I'm most proud of, actually, because I always thought you got to, well, I didn't think I had to play a lot of guitar, but it felt like that was the first album where I was singing better, where I really got out of my comfort zone, because I'd just been doing a lot of blues. And it got me in a lot of patterns. And I realized, like, all right, these are songs I need to sort of come up with better melodies and things that were a bit different. And that album's more guitar hooks than it is like lots of riffs, like lots of just noodling. I've tried to come up with parts. Here's trouble.
It looks like we've been invaded.
Yeah.
I am outside tending to a pretty large fire. I don't know if you can see that behind me.
Oh yeah,
it's a bit of a rager. So
what are you forging a sword?
Leaving it. Yeah, I didn't. You know what? It's my child's swing set. We're finally getting rid of it.
Well, you're burning
it up. Yeah. It's easier to burn it than to try to get it to the dump.
Yeah. The disposal fees. Yeah. It's a lot easier to scatter the ashes post haste.
Yeah. Well, so I'm going to have this shadow in front of my face, apparently.
What time is it where you are? Is it the same time? Was it like
20 after 8?
Oh, okay. It's 20 after 8.
Okay, cool.
There you go. What time is it where you're at?
10 a.m.
You're like 3 p.m. next Thursday.
Yeah, that's it.
Exactly.
You getting stoked for GetCon?
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it. Rick's pumped as well. Yeah.
I'm thinking about bringing. I'm going to bring a laptop anyway, right?
Yeah, me too.
So I might bring an interface because it would make it a lot easier to do some recording. Mm-hmm. And when I'm not using a room, I could get people to like jam with, and it would be like first-rate quality because it would be going directly into the laptop through the DAW,
Yeah.
And then even later on, I could mix it, change the effects, do what I want. Mm-hmm. So I've been toying with the idea of, because the laptop's coming anyway, I'll bring the interface.
Yeah, that's cool. I was also on the fence about bringing one, actually, because my camera's got these XLR inputs on it, but you can't really sort of run a hot signal into them. They're more just for voice. So I was like, do I bring a little audio interface or not? But I was talking to Lewis about doing this sort of like discussion about YouTube, maybe more so than guitars. If you know, with a few of the other guys as well that'll be there with Rick and a couple of other guys, I thought might be an interesting sort of chat, just chatting about the YouTube thing.
Well,
that, you know,
I think
behind the scenes and stuff too.
Yeah, I think my goal is to get out of there with like a bunch of covers, you know, with different people, maybe little things. I'm talking like 60-second to 120-second songs, like not like big things, but something like pretty decent. And maybe a Christmas song, because it's like, why not do it right then? It's like, you know, you get it, nail it, and get it out of the way right there, and get a bunch of people to play in on it. Right, it would be a good idea.
Yeah,
and I have a couple of joke ones, like a Halloween related, that's actually, you know, maybe a touch scary, and then another one that's just total ridiculousness. And so, you know, I think that's my starting point. I'm really trying to make two of them like pretty cinematic. And then the rest is just sort of like jamming. I think I'm going to try and keep the whole like sitting around and talking about equipment to a minimum. I want to use the equipment to produce music. You know, I think that's the last time I felt like everybody, you know, it's a bunch of talking heads. It's like that only goes so far. It's like you're much better off to do something. So go and grab a round of guitars and some effects, plug them into the interface, and get like some real music recorded, something I don't think you can do in the rooms.
No, that sounds like a good idea, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. You better not steal it, you bastard.
I've already
live in Melbourne. You live in Melbourne. You already know that.
Yeah,
I'm already on it. Melbourne. Yeah. You're only like 8,900 miles away, bro. Never forget it.
I think it's way more than that, actually. It's more like 2,500 or something.
Yeah, more like 13,000.
Sorry. Yeah, 14,000. Yeah.
You're probably right. My math is way off. I'll be landing in the middle of the Pacific. Going, this is it, boys. Touch it down.
Yeah, I've got a few ideas for videos as well. I don't really want to do like just demos. I could do a lot of those kind of things here. Like, so for me, it's just like I don't really need more gear videos, but
I want to leverage the other people there. Right? That's the whole point, is to leverage the collabs.
You know, we should do just
walk up to a bit of the mashups come out last year, and I'll tell you, as strictly a viewer during GetCon last year, I was like, oh my, this is awesome. This is awesome. It's like a super group all of a sudden, you know? And and to take it up to the next level, you know, and do, like you say, a collaboration more than just a mashup. Yeah, that's awesome.
You should, Steve, you should walk up to people with a wireless microphone and say, can I have 5,000 subscribers? And just do that to everybody that's there. And put together like a joke clip. That'd be hilarious. I'll do it. No, I don't mean it like that. I mean, just like the most random thing you could ask somebody. No other questions. Just walk up and ask one question and then walk off. Do that to everybody. No, you got plenty of subs, man. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant that'd be a hilarious sort of compilation of like just walking around and asking people for subscribers.
Oh, there's going to be some people there that will have like 500,000 subs plus.
Yeah,
you know? There's a couple, but there's a few people that could spare 5,000, no problem. That's my point. Wouldn't even notice it. Wouldn't even notice it.
For everybody to watch. Yeah.
Someone asked, are we going to be doing some sightseeing? So I've got an extra 5 days at the end. Rick and I are going to be doing some driving around and checking things out. So I don't know if.
Oh, really?
Have you got a few extra days, or are you just heading straight back?
No. I couldn't afford to cover my hotel myself. So I'm on the. I'm only going with the free hotel. So to put it into perspective, well, we're not staying at the same hotel after we're done. There's no way. So we found this Roach hotel. We thought, that sounds like a good idea.
Hostel.
Yeah. Because it adds up. Those euros don't translate to dollars well.
No.
No, I'll find that out pretty soon. No
Let
doubt
alone
about it.
Australia or a Canadian dollar. Yeah, that's even
right,
worse.
right.
Whatever it is in any other currency, just double it or triple it, and that's what it costs here. That's how that works.
Yeah.
And of course, your first live stream, Steve, once you're back from GetCon with all your photos, it's like the slideshow of Uncle Steve's trip. And we all sit back and you narrate it and you tell us about this. And I love it because it's like, here's some gear, here's some food, here's some friends.
Yeah, here's some beer.
And then all of a sudden
you're more beer.
You're like, wow, we just did this for
more beer. No, it should be good. It should be good. I'm looking forward to it. I've been giving it a lot of thought recently. You know what I have is a new little toy called a Spire. SPIRE, Spire. That's by a company called Isotope. Now they're a software company. This is their first time they've put out a hardware product.
Oh wow!
So it looks like a little coffee can, right? Like a little half a chock full of nuts coffee can. It's a little thing. A little bit bigger than a coffee mug. I'd say it's more like a bowl of soup. You know what I'm saying about that size? It's round, right? And it's got like 5 buttons, 2 big ones like record and play.
Yeah.
And 3 smaller ones. It's like sound check that sets the level automatically, new song, and like headphone volume, and that's it. And it can plug in 2 sets of headphones and 2 instruments or a microphone and an instrument. It's got a bunch of built-in effects and built-in amps and a built-in everything. Mm-hmm. And you can like record up to 8 tracks, and then you use your iPad to control it. And, it's very limited in some ways and like how it works. But I got to say, I've recorded like 4 songs in 3 days. It's so quick. It's very fast. And you can't help but just say, oh, and you get 1 track down, you lay another track down. It's really quick. And so I was thinking about bringing that, but the more I think about it, it is very limited. I should just bring the interface.
Yeah.
And like, I'll have later on, I'll be much happier that I have much cleaner tracks, out of that than out of this thing, which is good. It's a nice little mobile studio, and it runs off battery for like many hours, and it can record a lot built in. It's got a built-in hard drive and everything.
Yeah.
But it does have some limitations. First of all, it can only record 1 track at a time. So if I'm recording with somebody else, we can't record 2 tracks at a time. And it can only record 8 tracks total, where my laptop, it's unlimited. Much, Nice. So, and I got to bring the laptop anyway. So that's the killer, right? It's because the laptop is a must bring. Now I'm going to bring the light, because you can't control it without an iPad. And I don't have an iPhone, right? You have a Samsung. So I don't have an iPhone to control it. I got to bring my iPad. And by the time I bring that stupid iPad along with that device, I might as well just bring an interface and a couple of nice condenser Softtech mics, and some decent, equipment. And, like, do it more professionally than trying to bring it with this. Not that this device isn't cool, and it's so fast. That's the one thing I like about it. It is fast. I mean, just boom, right to the next track, automatically loads the next track, arms it, you're ready to go. It can punch in, it can do a whole bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's still only 8 tracks. And
just bring a computer.
I think you can import tracks, so you can import a backing track to it and have people. So I might play with a little bit, with a little bit more and see if I can, but
I just don't bring the interface. Like I used to master a lot of stuff with their Ozone 4 plugin, and they got a lot of really great. Oh yeah, I'm interested to see what that would be like, because I know how great their editing software is. Awesome.
Ow. It's hot. That is hot.
Don't fall in the fire.
Oh yeah, no. I am stoking this. I'm
I keep
stoking the
missing our
fire right now.
streams too, Steve. I'm not awake when they start, and then by the time I'm half awake, I'm like, oh no, I think I missed the majority of them. So
yeah, we wait until you're asleep.
Yeah.
We go, all right, all right, he's out. All right, let's start the stream.
Yeah, I had like crazy jet lag last week as well when I got back, so I was kind of fried. And
yeah, where were you again? You in Greece? Where were you?
I went to Denmark and Sweden.
Denmark, Sweden.
Right. Yeah, beautiful places. That's why I'm like now really excited to see what Germany's like. I had no expectations, and I was blown away. I could live over there.
Oh yeah, there it is.
It's beautiful. Hey, nice.
Very nice.
Got any old guitars you can chuck in there, man? It'll go viral.
Yeah, a couple of Gibsons. That'd make people happy. We got Moon
I've been
coming
asking
out.
him for that guitar for 10 years in his chat, and he does that.
My friend bought this Chinese. Well, it's an awful double neck guitar. It doesn't stay in tune. It doesn't sound good. The neck's horrible. I said to him, look, I'll buy it off you just to throw it in the fireplace, and it'll be an episode called Will It Burn? And we'll just see if we can make it burn, because it is the worst guitar you've ever seen. He's like, oh, no, I don't want to just ruin it. I said, no, I'll buy it off you, and then I'll burn it. I'm sure like that video has to go viral. You know, like it's a horrible instrument. It needs to be burnt. It's the best thing you can do to fix it. It's just to send it back home, send it away.
I think this fire's around 1,100, 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything I put in it right now will pretty much burst into flames. Yeah. It's weird when you put a fire together, because believe it or not, when they start out, they're cold, and you have a cold fire. Even though flames are coming up, it's generally cold. Once you get it going and you get the coals going, oh my God.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's pretty cool.
Burn, baby, burn. It's a disco inferno right there.
Is it still warm in your part of the world at the moment, or?
Well, it's been crazy hot, and all of a sudden we just got a blurb out of Canada. Nice cold.
Yeah.
So
gotta love those
thanks, Ben.
Yeah,
thanks,
I
Ben.
know.
It's appreciated.
It's been either mid 80s here, or I wake up and it's mid 50s in the morning. It's literally
So this morning it was like 48, 50 degrees, somewhere around there. That's pretty.
Yeah.
What's that, about 10 Celsius, 13 Celsius?
Oh, okay.
In and around, yeah. I was wearing a leather jacket to work this morning, and then of course by 1 p.m. people are walking in with t-shirts and shorts, because that's Canada.
Yeah.
Especially
we had it, but with the cold air, we have a little airport nearby. All the freaking planes are out today. Everybody's like, oh, beautiful air, beautiful cold air.
Yeah.
Let's go flying. You hear like all day long.
I woke up to the amazing sound of huge construction this morning. It was awesome. Started right at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they were repairing, or they're building this railroad like that goes about 20 or 30 feet above the road. So they're like bashing these massive steel or cement pylons into the ground with this big, huge thing. And yeah, that's an awesome sound to wake up to. It was awesome. This goes over. It's like five times in a row. It breaks for about 2 seconds, and then 5 times in a row. It's awesome.
We had I don't know who it was, but we had someone the other day. I was like, all right, I'm gonna start shooting videos, and all of a sudden I started hearing like a chorus of chainsaws. And someone down the street had an enormous tree taken down. And when I say enormous, they had to bring in 2 special trucks. One was a giant diesel chipper to chip most of the branches, but the logs were so enormous. I'm talking like 15, 16 inches across. I mean, these things are, you can't wrap your arms around them, and, they had a special truck, and they had to have, it has a giant hydraulic claw where they saw that thing off, and someone pulls it up and puts it in the back of the logging truck. And that took them like 4 or 5 hours to take that goddamn tree down. And I'm like, guys, and they're firing up that big diesel friggin' chipper. I'm going, oh, you're killing me. You can just totally hear it. There's no escaping it.
Yeah. and that's brutal. I get a lot of those sort of not to that extreme, but there's a lot of renovations and stuff going on around the neighborhood. So some days you go to film and you're like, no, not today. I just can't do it. Yeah. Some dude hammering right outside or putting up a fence for the third time in a week.
I have a subdivision going in next door, so I've had construction for 5 years next door. 165 homes. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But, you know.
Level 100 acres of wooded area outside of town, and here comes the subdivision.
Has Steve been on your stream before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I couldn't remember I
was telling Shane, I had messaged you, Steve, through your Facebook page earlier today, but I'm like, it's Sunday. It's, it's decent this time of year. You're probably busy. So you hadn't seen it, but I was like, if you want to jump in, I had Shane on. I knew you two knew each other. So.
Yeah, once this fire dies down, I got to head in because the Pats are starting.
Yes, somebody mentioned that in the chat.
Yeah.
Someone asked what our thoughts are on the Harley Benton guitars. I haven't actually played a lefty at all, so I think Steve might have probably played.
I've never played one myself.
Yeah, see, you're at a bit of a disadvantage. You better hope there's a lefty guitar there. There will be lefty framers guitars. They'll have those all day long. There'll be many of those. Yeah, okay. There'll definitely be lefty framers without a doubt. Because I remember them last year. They definitely have a bunch. It's a big showroom. They have a lot of different guitars, and there's absolutely lefties. It's the dealers who come. Are they going to bring lefties? That's where it gets a little trickier. Is Schecter going to have a lefty for you? Is Ibanez going to have a lefty for you?
I did send an email to a couple of the guys, but
did you? Good.
Yeah, I think the PRS folks said they'll bring one or something, but if they don't have any, I'll just buy a harmonica and just ruin everybody's day by just blasting harmonica everywhere. I can't play harmonica, so it'll be amazing. It'll be awesome. It's like bringing a set of bagpipes into a blues jam.
Right.
Harmonica to me is an interesting instrument. I'm still yet to acquire a taste for it. But
I had somebody ask in the chat, asked what the red guitar was in the background. It's my 1985 Kramer Focus 6000.
Oh, look at that headstock.
Mm-hmm. I noticed in your latest guitar search, Shane, you saw there was a EVH Stripe series there. You do need to go play that thing.
Yeah, it looks kind of nice.
They are unique. It's totally different than anything else I've ever played.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never actually played one. Is that the sort of colored one with all the some weird sort of pattern thing on it? Yeah.
Yeah, a little guy named Eddie Van Halen. He kind of popularized that paint.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Eddie Van Horn? No, I don't know. But, I don't know. I've never really sort of, the more I see some of those Ibanez guitars, the more I'm starting to kind of think they're pretty cool. I've never really wasn't into them a while back, but maybe the PRS is bridging the gap between blues snob guitars and like rock and roll guitars. Right. There's this some of those new ones, man, they look really great. Some of the best tops on any guitars I've seen.
Just really easy to play. A big radius on the fretboard, super low action, light gauge strings, and it's just, I remember the first time I picked up a Wolfgang. I did a run on it, and I went, my speed of the scale was a good 10-15% faster because you just don't have to work. And I was just like,
cool.
Oh, okay, I get it. And that's all I could think of was because I kept hearing about how well they played and stuff, and all of a sudden I just went, I get it.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I don't think I've really played any, but I've played a couple of the bottom. I think the only lefties they make are the bottom of the barrel, like the $200 Ibanez ones. But yeah, some of those other ones I've seen over the last 12 months have been really nice. And what surprised me actually is the Schecter are making like a Strat and Tally made in the US, which are beautiful looking guitars. Actually,
they are
really, really nice.
I played their version of a Les Paul at Gearfest this year. And I really dug it. Nice tone, nice feel. It felt like a Les Paul.
Yeah, they're that Sun Valley Super Shred or whatever, that was a surprise hit. It was pretty decently made and pretty damn cheap, like $5.99 or something like that. You could get it with a Sustainiac, you know, for like another $200 for like $7.99. You could get a pretty trick guitar with a Floyd Rose and decent pickups, and you know, a pretty decent build quality, and a Sustainiac. You know, if there's one thing I'd want to check out by them, it's that. There's this Super Shredder with the Sustainiac. That and the and I think this would be right up your alley too, Shane. Is the Nick Johnson model, right? This is basically a Super Strat.
Okay, cool. I'll Google
with single coils, so not so super. It's sort of a Strat. Don't say that around them though. Don't say, you gotta say it's S guitar or something, right?
Oh, I hate how people do that, man. Like, why do they do that?
S style, T style, single cut.
I have to say it's a registered trademark of Fender. International Globicon.
But is it? Do they register? Like, have they trademarked Strat or just Stratocaster? Both. Probably. Yeah. Okay.
Both.
Yeah.
And the headstock shape.
Yeah. I knew they did that, but I wasn't sure if they actually registered.
Except in Japan, it didn't go through. Like Japanese guitars, they can still build it with whatever headstock they want, but I think they can't export them. It's like only for domestic sale in Japan.
Oh no, they can't. Don't worry about that. We get them all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, my Tokais have Gibson headstocks. They're spot on. They're like, yeah, you can buy the Strat and T-style electric guitars. They look exactly the same. So, yeah, no, they do export them. I think it just depends on the laws importing them from circuits. I wouldn't be surprised if it's so much of a nanny state here that that'll probably be banned soon as well. So,
right. And the American company's like, well, we got to fly somebody all the way over to Australia. Steve said it was 9,000 miles. The plane didn't make it. Yeah.
Think it in there? I don't think it is.
What's happening?
All right. Plan 2. Come on. Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Oh.
I want to just thank everyone for tuning in here. We've had consistently some nice number of people in here. This welcome one and all. A few new names.
Terry's here as well.
Yeah, Terry's here. Moderator to the stars, as I nicknamed him. So I always like to joke. As soon as he started popping up on my channel, I made him a moderator because everybody else had him as a moderator. So I figured I wanted to be like you guys, you know.
Terry's good. You don't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Damn good. MVP.
Yep.
Yeah.
Woo.
We just.
That's hot.
So, was there another question here? Oh yeah. So Lando27 Music says the Steve Witch Project, because it looks like something out of a horror movie is going on. It's what's that? Found footage. Yeah.
Wait, I got to do ASMR right now. All right, guys, I'm back.
Yeah.
There's fire right now.
Got my good buddy Absolute Mayhem tuning in. He's just watching while listening and driving. Hello, all.
Everyone's saying, well, what's Steve doing? He's burning things because he can. It's his pastime.
Say goodbye to Steve from Boston. Say hello to Miguel Sanchez. Time to start my life anew.
The bodies have already been dumped in the fire, and we're
just burning up a few files that no one needs to see.
I was going to say, for those just tuning in, this is in fact Steve from Boston, not Glenn Fricker, with his latest Line 6 review, live on my channel. Or was it Steve? You were involved with the Orange Destruction as well.
Oh, what?
I saw a bunch of orange gear get conveniently relicked at Tolman University, sneaking out. Henning gave away that pedal, and
you hearing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
burning like lacquer off it or something, is it? Or?
No. It's an owl. I think that's an owl.
Oh, I'm hearing the popping. Sorry, I'm hearing this snapping sound.
Yeah, see, it's too far away. I don't think you can hear it over the pop.
Hang on. It's the UFOs, man. You live in the US, right?
Yeah. All right. Hold on. We go like that. There we go.
Yeah, I don't know if I can hear that over my headphones, the owl. I can hear something in the background. It kind of sounds like a phone, possibly, but maybe that's it.
Here comes the moon out from one of the trees. There's a cooler left over from party. That's a chair. A coffee cup. My leg. And that's my pokey fire stick that I poke the fire with.
Gotta poke the fire, everyone.
Everyone needs a pokey fire stick. Everyone knows that.
I should get one for my Nana heater back here. Just
yeah, it might not work out as planned. I tell you, I'm getting some sparks going up there. I'm getting a little worried. I'm getting a little sparky.
Oh yeah, look at him go.
All right.
Some good low light performance on that phone camera there, mate. It just turns to pixels. That's
we
awesome.
got asked our thoughts on the new 2019 Les Paul Jr.
I'm keen to try it out. I was close to pulling a trigger on last year's or this year's one while I was away. I didn't love it. I wanted to love it, but the current one I liked. I'm keen to check them out just to see what they're like. But I haven't seen them anywhere here yet. So give it another, probably 2020 we should get them.
Yeah.
No, it's a bad trick. But yeah, it might take a little while.
Yeah, you'll get them when the 2021s are announced, right?
Yeah, exactly. It might take some time. But I like those guitars. One pickup, volume and a tone control. What more do you need?
Exactly.
Maybe a second pickup. But yeah, that's So I don't know if Steve's played them, but I haven't seen any here yet.
What are you talking about? The 2019 Gibson?
Yeah. The Les Paul Jr.
Yeah, I think I played a couple at the Summer NAMM show. Actually, now that you mention it. Summer NAMM.
Yeah, they were there.
Jason says, I have a question for Steve. I watch all his videos on the AmpSim software, Amplitude, Bias, TH3. Does he only use TH3 now? Is it the best in his opinion?
Yeah, TH3, they're all pretty decent. None of them are terrible. But TH3 is the best one. It's the most dynamic. It also has the least amount of noise, I find, of all of them. It's got one of the more intuitive interfaces. I just, the best patch system is Guitar Rig. Sadly, they haven't updated in 7 years. If they're gonna do something with that product, then let's do it. But they haven't had an update in 6 or 7 years now. Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen with Guitar Rig. Amplitude, is all right, but it still doesn't quite have the sound like TH3. TH3 is really the one to beat, I think. And here's the thing: they can all do clean pretty good, and maybe they can even do crunch okay. But when it comes to real heavy distorted sounds, it all falls apart. And the only one I think who can really do it is TH3.
Right. Where you get that thump, a chug.
Yeah. Well, with TH3, you can put a clean amp in there and put a tube screamer in front of it. And man, it really does sound like a clean amp with a tube screamer in front of it. It's like, damn, that is a good sound. It's like, you roll back on the guitar volume and it cleans up. I mean, it really is, I think, of all of them, the best one. And they've never, ever reached out to me. I've probably sold, just guessing here, 100 billion copies of TH3 through YouTube. And not a peep.
Sorry, I've been in the same But with like a whole lot of stuff over the years, you know, like the original Mustangs and all that kind of stuff, that you've probably sold 10,000 of them, and inadvertently just through, and PV Bandits and all kinds of stuff.
How do you not have a signature Bandit?
They just don't bother. They don't need to. I think if you're doing it, if you're already putting it out there, why why would they want to do anything?
Free milk and a cow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
But I got to give Fender credit. Even when you bash their products, they don't do anything. So, you know, it works both ways.
Yeah.
So you can promote them and they'll do nothing, and then when you you bash them, they do nothing as well.
Hey, Cheddar. Survived last night, I'm guessing.
What happened last night?
Pre-birthday celebration.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you did mention that. Sorry. Yep. I just got a text at the same time. I was highly distracted. Sorry. Cool. So allegedly the big 4-0, huh?
Yes. And he got
that's so funny now.
New guitar.
You know.
Wow. Landon just sent me a photo of the Ottawa area from earlier this week. I don't know if you heard, Steve. We had some tornado action come through the nation's capital.
You seeing this?
Oh, yeah.
I like to look at them cinders.
Here we go, folks. Our nation's capital earlier this week in some of the harder hit areas.
Click on your tile, Ben, so we can see it, because it keeps switching.
There we go. And if I get this to focus now, because I had it, and now it's not. Of course, it doesn't want to cooperate. Let me just try that. Go back. Nope. All right. Well, it doesn't want to behave. Well, devastation, folks.
Yeah, wow. No, that sucks. Yeah. I missed all of that news. Like I said, I've been house sitting and not really being too up on what's going on. So,
yes. I am sure that it was the remnants of the hurricane. It just somehow met up with something else, and then two cells got together and wasn't good. So,
hey, no, I won't use that sarcastic joke. It's all right. I'll save it for later.
Save the good stuff for later.
Yeah, I'm looking for. You know what, Steve? I don't know if it's just me, but there's a lot of names on that GetCon list I don't even know. Like there's channels I'd never even. I mean, maybe it's because of the style I listen
Adam
to.
Neely, Music is Win. That all sounds made up.
I know. I don't think Music is Win is gone. Is he? I heard originally he was, but I didn't see his name on the last list because the list looked like it changed. Because Daryl Braun was supposed to be gone too, and then I don't see him on any of the lists now either.
Oh, really? So I thought he was on. No, Music is Win was on the last one. I could have sworn.
Oh, okay.
I know he was on one of them recently.
He was on the original one like months ago, but I didn't notice his name on there. But I could be wrong. Maybe I just missed it.
Right.
Yeah, which
now you got me curious.
Likely.
I was going to say, could it be also that maybe some smaller channels are going to help out as well, sort of like a Toman? Because like Cheddar was at Toman, for instance. Cheddar's a great guy, but he doesn't have a channel the size of your shape, right? Mm-hmm. But I know he was there, like helping out other YouTubers, or to whatever knowledge I know of it. Seemed to be there was a secondary support group of smaller channels, which I thought was a cool idea.
Yeah, no, I'm checking the list, mate. I don't think he's on there now. I don't see him on the latest list. So, yeah.
Is Adam Neely still on the list?
Yeah. Yep.
And what about Rick Beato?
Yeah, he's on there. So we've got Adam, Rick, Sean Daniel, who I don't know, Nathan Navarro, Pete Thorne, Steve, which is you.
As long as Pete's there.
David Wellerman.
David Wallerman? Never heard of him.
No. There's guys here that I actually don't know. There's like a couple from where was it? It was a guy from Israel. I actually looked up his channel. He's a great player actually, but I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. It's Kfir. So
Kafir?
Yeah, maybe that's how you pronounce it. I was going to try that, and I thought, you know what? I'll butcher it, and I'll never live to do it. So, yeah. So, it looks like there's quite a few people turning up. Mike from China Guitar Skeptic, who seems like a nice dude. He's from England as well. So, yeah, cool. There's a few people.
Very cool.
Andy from ProGuitarShop.com will be there.
Yeah, Andy's killer.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. He's a dude.
And
we should do a voiceover off between you and Andy, Steve. We can see who's got the cooler voiceover voice.
Oh, I'll nail it. Don't make me. I'll have to break out the Rico Suave. You know, it comes out once or twice a year, but you know.
GetCon and NAMM, that's it, baby.
Yeah.
The video you did a while back, Steve, of your direct sort of amp sim setup with your computer and all the software. All the comments are like, "Oh, this dude should do voiceover work. This guy should be like, you know," it's pretty funny.
Well, that's one of the few videos I actually recorded my voice directly into a DAW, not into the camera. And then when I was done, I just applied like a vocal software called like, you know, Vocal Master or something like that, or Vocal Broadcast Master, which, you know, just compresses it a little bit and, you know, adds a little bit of EQ. And so it sounds like extra, like,
yeah, it sounds great.
You know, supple than, you know, than normal. My moon coming out. Oh, yeah.
You should look into that, man. I reckon that'd be a great thing to do. Like like I said to you, I don't know if you took offense to it, but I said to you ages ago, you sound like you'd be a great voiceover on something like The Family Guy or some sort of cartoon. You got that sort of character in your voice. You could play like you know, any number of sort of characters. Yeah, I don't know. Sure. You got a really great sort of.
The problem with it is that animation is a terrible strain on the wrist, and
especially live. The live streams,
yeah.
Right?
Especially during a live show.
Yeah.
But, I think I got a whack and Colinsies. There we go. And, a little whack. Oh yeah, nice. Nice work.
See on the news later that half of Boston's caught on fire. It'll be
yeah.
Wake up and mass.
As long as you're nowhere near where any of those gas leaks were, should be fine.
I'm not. I'm actually about 20, 25 miles south.
Okay. That was just crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I don't know if you saw that, Shane.
Sorry, say that again.
You have a natural gas line that, say, runs under your street that runs at approximately 60 psi, and then it goes down to approximately, 3/4 of a pound of pressure into the home, and somehow the mechanism that takes down the pressure stopped, so it was sending 60 pounds of pressure into homes.
Oh, God. Oh, that's awful. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, so a bunch of homes blew up.
Oh, man.
Bunch of homes burned to the ground. And I'm not talking like it's funny because it's ridiculous in just how big the scope was. Like just how many were affected. It was like over 80 homes. I think it was like close to 100. Luckily, it was only one person killed.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for a disaster of that kind of scope and the amount of like fires and explosions that happened, just amazing that like not more people were killed or injured.
What time of the day did that happen? Was it all at once, or was
it was during the day? They said if it happened at night, it would have been a lot worse.
Yeah,
because people would have been home. It happened during the day when people were out.
Yeah, wow. Oh, that's a horrible way to go, too. I mean, like
No, it wasn't. It wasn't even like people who were in the house that smelled gas ran out of their house. Because gas has it, right? This guy was sitting in his driveway, and a house exploded, and the chimney flew off the house and sailed through the air and fell to earth at a great rate of speed and smashed through the top of his car and killed him instantly because it's a big giant brick chimney. Weighs a lot. I mean, that's like, what are the odds? That's just talk about bad luck. I mean, just sitting in your car minding your own business, and it's like the equivalent of like getting struck by a meteor. You know, it's like, It's like there's no. I mean, how do you defend against that? I mean, you just don't, right? It's just it's like the case of the worst luck ever.
Yeah, that sucks.
But
that's
it's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
So naturally, the local, the state and local governments are going ballistic over it.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine everywhere. Everyone's taking a look at their infrastructure as a result, right?
Well, they cut the power. They cut the power to three towns, so that wouldn't explode again, right? Until they got the pressure under control. And then once they got the pressure under control, they put the power back on. But no one's got any gas, and it's starting to get cold, right? And you can't cook. You can't, if you have a gas dryer. We have a gas dryer. We have a gas hot water heater. Our whole house runs off gas because gas is much cheaper than electricity around here.
Right.
So I have so many gas appliances, gas stove,
Yeah, me too.
Gas everything. So,
like 100-year-old nana heater back here.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Anyway, what time is it? 9:01. All right, guys. I might have to call it a night and head in.
Cool. Alrighty, sir. Well, thank you for stopping in.
Yeah.
Safe travels to GetCon. We'll be looking forward to all the coverage that both you guys will be doing. So.
Yeah.
I'll see you in person again soon, man. It'll be good. It's been over a year since we hung out. So.
Yeah. And we're gonna be jamming. So, get ready to jam.
Send me a heads up on some riffs I can play behind you, man. We'll get it sorted.
I mean, for you, I think obviously it's going to be blues, right? Because that's something that you'll feel comfortable with right away. But
I was going to do some NAMM stuff, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to stick to 12 bar this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll break out the wah-wah pedals or something if we can find someone there with a wah-wah pedal, one of the vendors.
You're going to love maybe oh, sorry, I cut you off.
Rick.
Yeah, I was going to say you and him you've got very similar tastes in a lot of the rock and roll stuff.
Yeah.
I reckon you guys will have a bit of fun if you choose to do something with him, because he's got a great memory for a lot of songs. Anything he's heard, he can kind of pull out of his butt. So cool. he between you guys, you should be able to pull some fun stuff out of the bag. I'm sure.
You know what? I'm just thinking about it. I could be wrong on this. Music is Win. That dude, he's from North Carolina, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he is. I wonder if he got affected by the hurricane, and that's why he can't go. Because that's the one thing that sort of changed, is they got really whacked by a pretty big hurricane.
Yeah,
something that if it could, if it screwed up his house at all, he might have to tend to that.
Right. Yeah, because I was talking to a buddy. He's in Myrtle Beach area, and the water was still rising as of Friday. So
wow.
Yeah, come to America, Shane. Our houses blow up, and we have giant, mega kill storms that hit the coast and hang out, dropping 30 inches of rain.
Yeah.
Well, it's either that or
Jason Wade says he's from Asheville, North Carolina, so he would have been fine because Asheville's on the western end of the state.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
Yeah, I have friends that live in the Asheville area as well, so I know they were okay through the storm.
Oh, good. Yeah, I knew he was down in that area, but I didn't know if he was in the
well, it's a very wide state,
the
right?
devastation zone. Yeah. That's pretty bad. All right, guys. Well, one more shot of the moon.
Are you going to be on this coming Saturday, Steve?
What's that?
Live show this coming Saturday?
Yeah, I think I am. I think I'm going to do one this Saturday, even though it's the last one of the month, because the first Saturday of the month, the 6th, I'm on a flight. I'm actually flying to GetCon.
Right.
So maybe I'll just do it this coming Saturday, and figure it out from there.
Everyone should tune in. Steve from Boston this Thursday. I'm so used to saying Thursdays for my show. This Saturday at 7 p.m.
Saturday, 7 p.m.
You can check it Thursday, but you might have to wait just that little bit longer.
Yeah. It'll be Could be a bit of a wait.
Yeah, you can watch the timer countdown.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm off. Thanks for having me. And I will talk to you very shortly, Shane.
Will do, man. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good fun.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you when you get back from GetCon, Steve. Maybe set up a hangout if that's cool with you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Sounds good. I can't believe how bright this fire looks on the phone. It's quite dead in front of me. That's the infrared coming through, I suppose.
Yeah. That's good.
Anyway, yeah. All right, guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I'm finally off. I swear. Right now. Oh, I hit the wrong one.
Classic ending.
Right.
Steve.
That's it. Kick him before he can disconnect. Quick.
Right now. All right, here we go. All right, guys. Later.
See you, man.
Oh.
Hey, speaking of which, I'm just going to take a quick 30-second break. I'll be right back.
Sure. No problem.
If that's all right. I will be back, so hang on.
Quite all right. Jeremy, the weekly show I do with Richard Shanahan is Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. However, this coming Thursday, we more than likely won't be doing a show. Although if there's Wi-Fi where we are, it's actually it'll be evening 2 of Rich's bachelor party. So we'll see if we go live or not. So, but after that, usually it's Thursdays at 8 p.m. The following Thursday, definitely there will be a show. Rich will still be on his honeymoon, but I do have a guest co-host coming to fill in. And it is a fellow Canuck. So there we go. Canucks with Guitars. There's the logo that's our weekly show. I know you're new. So, and for those who want a shirt like this or many more, link down below, spreadshirt.ca for your Canucks with Guitars merch. So if you guys have any questions for Shane and myself, feel free to ask away. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but I also don't want to interrupt. You know, it's a delicate balance, as they say. hey, we want to party. Nice. Cool, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, Jeremy. Awesome. And of course, everyone should subscribe to Shane as well. There's a link to his channel, I believe twice, in fact. I think I put it just below in the description, and then I have my list of friends' channels. Steve's down there, Shane's down there, Tone King, and a few of the regulars in the chat as well. Their channels are listed down below. I'd like to pay it forward. Yes, there is long sleeve shirts, Soda Pop. This is your baseball jersey, or I call it tour shirt, because in the 80s we all wore band shirts like this. So yeah, t-shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, travel mugs, coffee mugs, all that fun stuff.
I got a question. I remember our Metal Stage podcast had the YouTube channel. What happened to that channel?
There was a falling out between a couple of the hosts, we'll say. One of them is no longer involved in social media at all. The other two kind of stayed friends, is my understanding. And then, yeah, I see Jim Guidry and Adam EVH from time to time. I talk to Jim once in a while.
Yeah,
they seem popping up. I think Adam may have a new show coming out. I'm not sure. Oh, thank you, Michael B.
It was one of those things. Last couple of months, I remember trying to find them in the search, and I couldn't. And I thought, that's weird. And I had another look last night. I thought maybe, I don't know, just something glitched. And then I had another look last night, and I was like, no, the channel's gone. Like, it's just not anywhere, which was surprising because,
yeah, I guess they figured when it was best when they parted ways, they just deleted the channel. So.
Yeah, okay.
Things happen, unfortunately.
No, that's it. It's hard to sort of rely on other people as well. Like, I don't. If someone wants to be a part of a video, that's fine. But I don't. I couldn't rely on somebody to continually do something just because they, you need them to or want to or whatever. So,
right. And your channel isn't primarily live either. Yeah. Whereas, like myself, for instance, I'm primarily a live channel. I do a bit of pre-recorded stuff, but it's primarily live. So yeah, if I was trying to coordinate 2 or 3 other people all the time without having a specific time, like when I chose 8 p.m. Thursdays for the first thing I did, because I wanted to be consistent.
Yep. No, that's it. No, it's definitely hard when you're doing a live thing all the time. No doubt about it.
And even when you do live stuff, it's fairly because like we usually, like for me, I usually know it's gonna be a Friday or a Saturday evening that you're gonna go live. And
yep. No, I usually do it like that. Usually Sunday my time is, if I'm awake, it's usually a good time of the day. Sometimes I'll go midweek, but it's not that often. Usually if I do that, it's more of a Q&A. Right. Sort of, I've got the guitar hooked up and I'll just be jamming in the other room. But
right. Yeah, I like just to do that. Sometimes from work or my lunch break, I'll go live because the mobile app, it's reversed, but at least you can play guitar through it.
I can't believe they still haven't sorted that out. Like the Facebook Live app, you can flip the camera.
Right.
I don't know why you can't do it on the YouTube one. It doesn't make
and the
sense.
weird part is when I started doing the live stuff, it was fine for the first few months, and then I think it was like the end of April, early May, and they just haven't fixed it yet. And it's not like it's just an iPhone thing. I guess it doesn't matter if you have Android or iPhone. It's just the mobile version.
You should probably get a little tripod and put your camera facing so you don't see the screen and just monitor it on a computer screen or something. Because that way you'll have a better camera to start, a much better. The selfie cams suck, right?
Yeah.
Compared to the ones on the other side. So you'll get better picture quality that way. And if you've just got a computer monitor or laptop behind you, you can see where you're pointing anyway. So that'll probably be the best way to go if you want everything around the right way.
Sure.
It's probably not as practical if you're talking to the camera, I suppose, and moving around. But if you're just sitting around,
right,
it might be the easiest way. Roy says, "Didn't I review a Harley Benton? I've never done one. Never done a video on one at all. I've seen them around and I've commented on them, but I've never actually played one."
It seems like most of the reviews we've seen, it's all like guitars shipped to you, and like
yeah,
I don't know about you, but I don't mind having a guitar shipped to me for review. Not that I have ever, but like I would have no problem doing that. But I wouldn't buy a guitar without playing it first. I just have I'm still
same.
Old school. I gotta put it in my hands.
I'm the same. I wouldn't even buy a $100 guitar sight unseen unless it was worth a lot. If it was a deal, maybe.
Right.
But
right.
No, and I know a few people that have them, and I hear mixed things. The problem is a lot of the YouTube channels they are sponsored by Harley Benton, right? So they get them at as often as they like, or as often as new stuff comes out. So you're just going to make sure you're watching the right reviews, and people do point out some of the pros and cons. And the cons, I guess.
Right. Someone asks here, Der Appler, Stratocaster versus Les Paul. What's your favorite? For me, hands down, a Les Paul. I'm not a Stratocaster fan myself.
Yeah, they're pretty much on par for me too. Like I went through this. I only used to play Strats years ago. And then, I'd probably take a Les Paul over a Strat 3 out of 5 times. I think Strats are better rhythm instruments. And I know that's not answering the question, but when you turn down with a Strat, there's a certain quality of top end you get I really like. So I see them as different kinds of things. As a lead instrument, I'll take a Les Paul any day. As a rhythm instrument, I prefer a Strat. I just think it sits in a nice place when you play live.
I think it depends on what you're looking to play too, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing as well.
We've got to the point where we'll say the certain blues player that went by 3 initials out of Texas that played a Strat. It's almost an entire genre of music is to have that Stratty blues sound.
Yeah, that's it.
No one can really nail
that sound either. People try, they just don't get it. There's not many people that can really nail a great Strat tone like that. It's and I think people think it's dirtier than the sound actually is. Like Stevie Ray, man, he played pretty clean, It's just loud.
And plus he would have dirty amps and clean amps as well. So he always had that clean coming through no matter what. So it seems to be he used Fenders for his dirties and Marshalls for his cleans.
Yeah, that's it. No, his tone was, it was it was like a massive task. He had a few people working on how to get it the sound he was after, and a lot of trial and error and all that kind of stuff too. Yeah, it's all in his hands too. I mean, that's what people don't realize. Like they could get a Dumble and they're not going to sound like that.
Exactly.
It's just even
the
guys that
you're still going to sound like you, right?
Yeah.
Well, like we were talking about that a bit last night. It's like I can play almost any guitar through any amp, and I'm still going to sound like me.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
it's just going to be a cleaner or dirtier version.
Yeah, and there'll be qualities in different amps and guitars that you do or don't like more than others, but it all comes down to whatever you're playing in the end. That's what it is, and how you play it. Troy says, love the Guitar Search Saturdays episode 28. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. That was a big job. Hopefully the next one you like as well. I've got it queued up and ready to go for 2 weeks away. So
I'm looking for that would be your first one from Denmark, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm really. I was going to ask you about that actually. When you were in Denmark and Sweden, did you come across any brand of instrument that you've never heard of? You know, something that might have been unique to that region.
Yeah, there was an amp. 100%. There was an amplifier brand which I've forgotten the name of. I'll see if I can dig it up. It was at this really great shop. So they support a lot of their amp builders. I think while Denmark and Sweden are right next to each other, they're like a 5-minute or 10-minute drive, over a bridge. And one of I'll see if I can find this amplifier brand. So there's some crossover between both countries. I mean, there's obviously hang on, where is it? Hang on. Oh, they don't have it in. Oh yeah, here we go. I think it's this one. It's like Olson, maybe OLSSON, and they make Fender style sort of tweed amps. I'll see if it allows me to post a link here or not. It might not actually. Actually, it might look like spam, so I won't do it. But yeah, if you type in I'll just type in the name. They're a Swedish based company, and amps. You know what? I didn't actually have a playthrough one, but if you Google them and have a look, they're beautiful. So you can tell pretty much straight away what they're based on either.
Right. Yeah. I've noticed that with a lot of amp manufacturers, they do enough of a nod that from 10 feet away, you're like, okay, I know what I'm getting into. I have an idea. Nobody's going to have a tweed looking Mesa Boogie sound or something. It just seems.
Yeah, exactly. One of the you know what, the name sort of slipped my mind. There's a Swedish guitar company. They're everywhere though. That's one of those. Yeah. There you go. There's that. But there was another one I'm trying to find as well. I can't remember what shop it was in, but yeah, that's the one that stood out. I was like, I've never heard of this before, and that was, pretty cool. But they look like good. They look like good amps. Oh, Terry's just posted in the link there, so there we go.
Nice, thank you, Terry. Soda Pop was wondering what you thought of Jeff Healey as a player.
Yeah, great. I mean, I probably like his singing as much as he's playing. I'm not going to say he's like my favorite player out there, and the only reason I'm going to say that is because I haven't listened to enough stuff. I've only heard a handful of tunes, but what I've heard I really like. I actually did one of his songs last night live for the first time, which was, I don't know if Dire Straits wrote it or he wrote it, but it's called I Think I Love You Too Much. It was a song that I've been listening to over and over and over. And there's a really great live version of Mark Knopfler's side project called the Notting Hillbillies. And it's a great tune. And I listened to Jeff Healey's version, and his singing's great and all that kind of stuff. And the guitar playing's great as well. But I haven't heard enough to sort of tell you, like, compared to how well I know Albert King or Clapton's catalog or whoever, I don't know enough of Jeff Healey's to say. But what I've heard, I really like. I think he's, obviously was a really talented guy, and the way he played was unique, and yeah, great tones, and yeah, his vocal was, I reckon, as good as anyone else. Like
I'm really impressed that he is as well known worldwide as he is, because he wasn't around for a long time, and we know him very well in Canada because we have CanCon, which means all television and radio have to play 30% Canadian content to keep their license. So we get a lot of people that are big in Canada, but were never a hit outside of Canada. And it could be, you know, one of those songs that's on every hour of every day, and you think, how does the rest of the world not know about this? It was such a mega hit.
Yeah.
But, you know, so that's what I really love is when you hear of someone like, you know, Jeff Healey is spoken with quite reverence throughout the world, and there's no Canadian on a panel or something. I'll be watching a YouTube stream or something, you know, someone will bring him up and it's just all kind words. I'm like, that's awesome. Because I always thought he was a great guy.
Yeah, totally. There's another Canadian dude. I always do this. I start to bring up artists, and then I'm like, what's his name again? No, I'm terrible. I'm so bad when it comes to names of artists. I'm really great when it comes to songs. Like I can hear it and remember either the pattern of the song or the lyrics. But when it comes to the artist, there's another really popular blues and roots guy that was more of a acoustic sort of player. And he had an awesome voice, and he was big for about 2 years here, and then no one heard of him since or before. You know, like he was just one of those guys that did really well for a short amount of time.
Okay. I'm just trying to think what kind of time frame.
Oh, this is probably 10 years ago or so. Yeah, and in that sort of niche of blues and roots, he toured here all the time too. For that in that window of time.
Mentions Colin James. Colin James was very much in the Stu Ray Vaughan vein of guitar players.
Yeah, I haven't heard of him.
Actually, if you like roots blues, both acoustic and electric, Matt Andersen is a monster player. He wins Blues Artist of the Year every year for the last 5 years or 10 years even at this point. Yeah, he's just a monster player. He'll play with a band or just go up solo as well. I've seen him live a few times. He used to play around here a lot before he really blew up, and now he's like he's done the Glastonbury Festival now and stuff like that. It's really nice to see he's really gotten big.
Yeah, cool. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, there's some great plays around. My favorite Australian guy would be Ray Beadle, and he's kind of from New Zealand. He's half New Zealander, half not New Zealander, but yeah, he's probably the best guitar player I've heard in person. And I've seen, well, I put him up there in his own way with guys like Derek Trucks and guys like that I've seen in person who are like monster guitar players. Like they don't even have to think about what they're doing. It's just, it comes out of them. And that's how, there's guys like that just blow your mind, you know. It's like, hang on, who's this guy, and why doesn't everybody know who he is? Like, yeah, and it's funny because we've got people that would be considered popular blues players, and then there's these guys that kind of went under the radar for a long time who are just 1,000-fold better than all of these guys.
Right.
Yeah, and he used to play BB King's actually in the US. He played at the BB King House of Blues as a house band guitarist for a long time, but he kind of gave it up. And I went to see sort of like his comeback tour or whatever, you know, like he's a young guy too. He's a few years younger than me. And I was waiting for him to make a mistake for about 12 songs. And then I went, all right, this guy's on a whole other level.
Right.
Never got twisted or tangled, flawless execution, great feel. Just a shockingly great player. So he did a version.
The best players, it's just, I think they're so caught up in the art. You know, they don't pursue it commercially, and it's like they're really popular amongst other musicians, and they're the ones that are saying like, how is he not famous? But it's like the typical thing. People in venues, they're there just to drink their beer and, you know, dance, but they don't care how good the tone is or how good the vibrato is, as long as it's in tune.
Yeah. No, exactly. And the funny thing is, like, I saw like him do this blues sort of funk blues, traditional blues stuff. And then I realized, like, oh no, he can chicken pick better than put name in here. Like he's a monster country player. And then you realize that there's a version of a song that I don't mind, but you know, Broadway, George Benson,
right?
You know, it's sort of cheesy vocal, but amazing jazz guitar. And I reckon his live version is up there with George Benson's.
And George Benson's on Broadway before.
George Benson's like the Michael Jordan of jazz, you know, like he's as good as you're going to get. And Ray's version is just as equally as good. It's different, but that'll make you, if you YouTube him, see if you can type in Ray Beadle, and I'll type it in for the chat for the guys here. Yeah, check out some of this guy's stuff. It's just crazy good.
Right on.
Yeah. Someone asked, have I heard of Tash Sultana? I don't think so, but I'm terrible with names. Let me just Google.
What's the population of Melbourne?
Oh, it's probably 6 or 7 million or something. Probably now 6 million.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought, because it's like it's one thing if someone asked me about a local player. I live in a town of 16,000. You know, so even if we figure surrounding area, chances are I know just about every guitar player, or at least know of them. But you know, if you live in Toronto, for instance, like I don't know one of the other 1,000 guys. Although in some instances, it is a very small community in that respect. Like, you know, you can go a few hours out of town type thing, and you talk to another guitar player, and within an hour, you'll find somebody you both know. It seems.
Yeah. I'm just looking up. She's got awesome dimples. Yeah. No, she looks like a bit of a rocker. I'm not too sure. One-man band kind of chick, from what I can see, but I could be wrong. But yeah, no, I haven't heard of her before. I'll have to check it out. Cool.
Yeah, cool.
What do we got here?
Old Man Dan feels like you never hear enough Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Yeah. I was watching a video with him.
He was big back in the day for a while there.
Yeah. Well, there was that
Black era.
Yeah, that what do you call it? The kid generation, where it was Kenny Wayne Shepherd and Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah, Johnny Lang.
Johnny Lang. Yeah,
who I still like, actually. Johnny Lang's great.
And it's like these guys were all like, they had the push in the early 90s, kind of. I think it was that followed because we lost Stevie Ray Vaughan. Everyone was looking for the next Stevie in many ways.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, by the mid 90s, it was like, oh, well, you haven't done, you know, a breakthrough hit. It's like, well, they're playing blues. Nobody's going to have a breakthrough.
No, that doesn't really work like that unless you fluke it like Tracy Chapman did, or you know, there's
and
a couple.
You know, the 80s, I think, was the last decade where you could bring out pretty much a song in up to, I would say, 8 genres of music, and it could cross over enough to be that, you know, breakthrough on the pop scene type thing, whether it's a country, rock, you know. Especially in the mid 80s. It was crazy.
I want to see when Tracy Chapman. So 95 was "Give Me One Reason." That was it. That was huge here. I don't know if that was a big hit everywhere, but
it still gets radio play here.
Yeah, I don't know if I know any other blues songs that have come out since then that had that formula. I know there was a twist on the progression, but it was basically it was a 12. It fits on a 12 bar, you know, format. It's just the changes were slightly, well, the same changes but done in a different way, kind of thing. So I don't know if there was anything really since then that I can think of that made radio that I can. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just racking my brain. I'm thinking, I've heard a handful of rock stuff kind of get through, and you know, I maybe something Jack White may have done that was blues-esque.
Yeah,
you know, that would be about the closest, I would think.
Yeah. To be honest, too, I don't really. I don't listen to the radio anymore.
No,
I can't handle it. I listen to a couple of shows maybe once a month on commercial. Oh, I say commercial radio, but free-to-air radio, I should say, not commercial radio, but the smaller sort of. There's a couple of stations that do blues shows. I'll chuck it on every now and then if I'm in the car. But you know, I've just got everything I like to listen to on my phone, or I can stream it to my speaker back there. Or even tune-in radio is good. You know, there's a station I listen to a lot on there. I don't know if you've got that app or not, but there's one called Texas. I think it's called Texas Roadhouse, something like that. Let me just double check. Music City Roadhouse on TuneIn Radio. That's great. Okay. They play just great blues, country, rock and roll, sort of ZZ Top. You know, a bit of the new stuff. Some of the old stuff. It's just like you don't even need radio when you find a channel or a free station like that online that just plays the stuff you love. Like there's no need to sit through all the crap that goes along with regular radio. At least here in Australia, it's awful. You can't turn it on without hearing commercials every few minutes, and they're just awful commercials. I'd rather just not bother.
Even the rock, like we had a classic rock station locally, and then they became new rock as well, which is cool. And you know, they broke a bunch of new bands for me, and at least in my playlist. But it's because it's a small town. It's the same commercials. A dozen or so commercials, and and if I hear the same classic rock songs that we've all heard a million more times, I just can't do it.
No, I'm the same, man.
I'm one of these guys that the bigger a hit is, the more I disliked it within a month of its release. And because I'm all about the album tracks, or I always say, well, what's the B-side sound like? That's fine. They did a single. What's the B-side?
Yeah, we've got what they'd consider like a classic rock. Oh, not even classic rock. They call it like, it's anything from basically the 60s to the 90s now. It keeps moving up as the time passes along. But it's like, man, how many more times can you hear these same songs and just like they just do them to death? I don't know. I turn it on. I just get frustrated when I listen to some of these songs now. I'm like, I'd almost prefer sometimes to not all stuff. There's some really great old, music, classic rock stuff out there. But what this particular station plays, it's really popular, is the stuff you just don't need to hear anymore. Like it's just like, you wake up, it's the same songs. It's that sort of thing. It's the same 50 songs on repeat or 100 songs all week. It's like, man.
Buddy Holly asked, did I do my homework and check out Buckethead Pike Hold Me Forever? I did, and that was that guy can play.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I went on a binge watching him probably 3 months ago. A lot of his live, only the live stuff that I've seen of him, and he's an interesting sort of player. It almost looks uncoordinated sometimes, but then he does stuff. You're just like, oh wow, okay, so this is cool. There's some stuff I think he was jamming with, like possibly Primus as well at one stage, and then he was jamming. I don't know. I don't think he just sits in with other artists, from what I understand. Sure. I could be wrong, but all the stuff I saw was him collaborating with other bands, and I thought, oh yeah, this guy's weird, but yeah, he's got some kind of nice chops. And
some of it's and it's not weird. Like that pure shred where I can't watch Steve Vai play. I can appreciate Steve Vai, but he's very talented. But it's like my dad always said: if you can't whistle it, it's not memorable.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's 100% right. I don't like that sort of guitar playing either. I can't, and anything that's too busy or fast a lot of the time, I just tune out, man. And that's one of my own. I always get grilled for saying that about Stevie Ray. I find his playing too busy.
I
can't listen to a lot of it. I listen to a couple. Like after I'm done listening to Texas Flood, I'm pretty much done. Like I don't need to put anything else on. Like I know he's got a lot of great songs, and I've got his albums. Like they're all back here, but I find him hard to listen to because it's just nonstop. And Steve Vai to me is like the shred version of that. He's great probably at what he does, but I don't know, man. I just don't get into it. My
sister has a question, and if I missed you earlier, sorry. Hello, Amanda, my sister.
Oh, cool.
She says, what do you classify Big Sugar as being? Big Sugar being, I would say, a blues rock band.
I don't even know who that is.
Canadian band.
Yeah.
Been around 20 some odd years, on and off. It's one of those like the front guy, the band breaks up, he does some side projects, but then they still get back together because, as you know, when you reach a certain age and you have a certain amount of notoriety, if you get the boys back together, that paycheck, all of a sudden they add a 0 or 2 on the end. It's awfully tempting to do the nostalgia circuit.
Yep. Yeah, you're right about that. A lot of bands still do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But no, I've never heard of them before. But yeah.
Well, see, that's Canadian content for you because they were all over the radio. Well, they're still all over the radio.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Lando says, heavy blues rock. The front man used to play ES 1275 quite a bit in the early days. Some slide work and
That's one thing I've started messing with a little bit more last sort of 5 days slide guitar.
A double neck?
Oh. No, just working on some slide. Yeah, no, I don't think I doubt you'll ever see me own a double neck guitar. The only one I might own is the one I want to buy and burn from my friend.
Right.
That thing's a piece of junk.
I have a Chinese knockoff of one. I paid $50 for it just as a conversation piece.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. Yeah, I'll never play with it.
Maybe you could be the first one that does the Will It Burn video.
Yeah, I could. I probably could. That's true.
Awesome. Absolute mayhem.
Yeah, just slide. I got kind of thrown into slide. We do a cover of REM's "Man on the Moon." And we played it a couple of times, and it was like, week to week. Richie being our front man and music arranger, he's like, "Well, I did some thinking." I'm like, "Oh yeah." Hands me a slide. I was like, "Dude, I haven't played slide in 20 years." And then I thought, well, it's only C and D back and forth. That's the whole song, except for the chorus. Yeah. Then I got to the point where I'd kind of, play just your D and G strings to mimic the slide and then chord the chorus. And then I got to the point where I was like, no, I'll just do it in open G. And I figured out the chord pattern. So now it's just second nature, and I'll do it with the slide. And he's just like, how are you doing all those quick chords? Like, I get a little, I was like, it's muscle memory now. And then we started doing Rocky Mountain Way again. And I was like, you know what? I said, I'll use the slide and we'll do, have some fun with it. Cause I used to kind of fake slide some of it. And I said, you do, because we don't have a talk box. I said, you do a wah bass solo for the whole E progression. But as soon as we walk up to the A, I'll just come in with a slide like a million miles an hour. And he's like, okay. And all you do is, just slide up to an A at the 14th and just give it a lot of vibrato, and the crowd goes crazy. And he's like, I'm not doing anything, folks. It's just proof. You don't really have to do much to impress the crowd.
We're doing some tracking slide guitar. My friend Brian, who's a wizard on regular guitar, can play great slide guitar as well. And he goes, I'll sit down with you for 5 minutes and show you what it is I'm doing. And I said, oh, all right. Because every time I try it, it sounds horrible, right? I think I'll grab my guitar. I want to show you something because it's easy to explain. But the way I see regular electric guitar or any playing regular sort of finger style stuff, if you're on the 12th fret, I sort of see it between the frets, not on a fret. And when you play slide, you're sliding up to the fret itself. Otherwise, it doesn't sound in tune. So it's all these years of drilling into you that you sort of sit between or behind the fret, whichever way you want to look at it. To then play on the fret it was a really hard concept for me to get around. I understood that's how it worked, right? Because I've dabbled with it before, but I have a really hard time translating all the notes I know on the slide. But then there was a twofold thing where this is something I didn't quite understand either. Obviously, you don't put a whole lot of pressure on the slide. You don't want to hear the fret. You don't want to push so you're getting the frets. But you're also not only muting behind the slide with your fingers, depending on which finger you use for the slide. Say it's your ring finger. You're kind of muting the strings you're not playing with this hand. But also with this hand, the way you pick it, you're sort of muting as well both ways. And that was something that opened up all of a sudden, I already feel like in 4 or 5 days, I've gotten better.
Right.
Because I wasn't muting at all with the hand that I'd like pick with. Nor was I really muting properly maybe with my hand that was on the neck. So just those little tips made a huge difference in sort of like concepts. And now I can like hit a note. It sounds way cleaner.
It depends on the song too. Like sometimes I mute behind the slide, but other times you want it to resonate in behind, like I find that's more when I play with a slide on acoustic, you want that swampy blues type sound.
Oh, totally. No, you're right. There's obviously times where you don't want to mute that as well. Yeah, totally. But I just meant for regular single note stuff. Yeah. Chords is probably a different sort of thing as well. But yeah, it's good just sort of picking the notes you're playing, and yeah, it was an interesting sort of learning experience. I went, I can kind of see how this works now. It's just about getting the feel and learning different licks and understanding what's going to come out of the guitar. And it's different because I can sing pretty much every note I'm going to play in my head, like, dun, 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 dun. You just know how that's going to work. But when you play slide, you're not playing those licks. You're playing something that sounds completely different. And I think it's just a matter of getting that in your head as well, of getting that brain
sliding into one note, and where am I going to resolve it from there?
And it's really easy to just want to end on root notes all the time because it works, but it gets boring really quick if you only end on root notes. So I'm spending a bit more time with it now because I want to get this other project finished. And Brian walked in and he said, I'll do 2 or 3 tracks and you can pick whichever one you want, kind of thing. And he just nails it and goes. And I was like, all right, I gotta start getting onto this stuff because it's one of my goals was to get better at it, and I haven't really worked towards that. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna, you know what? I reckon in a month I might vlog it actually, see if I can actually improve, see if I can learn to play slide in 3 months or a month or something, and see if I'll hold myself accountable to actually want to learn it and get it and do it properly. So, or do it at least better than where I'm at now, which is pretty much a beginner. And it sucks going back to square one.
I know. I know. Like I say, you mess with a slide a bit. When you first start playing, like I went and bought a couple of slides when I was in high school, and like, okay, open G, and all you do is like open, run up third fret to the 5th. Sort of like a Black Crowes type intro or something like that. That's all you do. And then all of a sudden, I never even thought about it. And next thing I know, boom, Richie's like, here's the slide. I'm like, okay. And now I start to embrace it more because I realize it's kind of a dying art in many ways because
it is.
Just a lot of people outside of blues, and probably some country. That's about it.
And someone said open tuning. So no, I just like, well, I wouldn't tune up to G or anything like that. I just use regular guitar tuning. So what is that? Is that open E? Is that what that's called? No, it's not open E.
No.
Is that what
it'd be just standard tuning.
Standard tuning, yeah.
Yeah, because open E
would be an E chord. Yeah. I never mess with different tunings, and 2 of my friends who are great slide players don't either. They just put a slide on and begin playing, and it's great. And I prefer that. I don't want to have to learn where the notes are or how they change when I'm in a different scale, even if it is, or different tuning, even if it is easier. Yeah, it's just one more thing to do.
Well, I think too is really the difference. Are you playing slide lead or are you playing slide rhythm? Right? Yeah. And so, like when I play slide rhythm, you're doing an open G tuning, and you're essentially playing upright a lap steel.
Okay. Yeah. There's like I see. I can already see how a lot of the chords are formulated just open tuning with a slide, regular tuning with a slide. So I don't know. I reckon if I started messing with open G, it would just do my head in. I'm so used to just how the guitar is and sounds the way that it is. Once I start messing with tuning, I'll be all over the shop.
I think I've always messed with lap steels on and off my entire life too. Cool. So I've always been fascinated with that. Or dobro and stuff like that. Not even having one, but you realize, okay, if I tune my acoustic to open G, lay it down on my lap, I can play it like a dobro.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I blame bands like The Band for stuff like that because you're like, how did they get that sound? And you realize, oh, okay, they used a dobro or something.
Yeah. I mean, I love the sound of dobros. I think they're awesome instruments. But yeah, I don't know. I've never worked on playing slide, even though I do enjoy the sound of it to some extent. That's another one of those things that can be overdone really quickly as well. Like you can, there's guys that will butcher slide guitar, like harmonica players play harmonica, or like those guys that don't shut up when they play. They just keep going nonstop. So they can be overkill, but tastefully, it's a great sound, and it's a good point of difference in the night to break it out and have it in a couple of songs. So all that album that you heard that I did, Brian did the slide parts on the first song and a few of the other ones as well, and that gave it the drive almost.
And you did the singing on the album?
Yeah.
Man, you got a good voice, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I worked on that hard. I worked on that for quite a while. That was my friend Brian, again, phenomenal guitar player, just as great on the vocals. And I gave him the rough mixes, and he goes, "All right, we've got to sit down and have a chat." I was like, "All right." He helped me sort of understand some idea. You know, he did give me a couple of the melody lines, but they were just like his first attempt. And then all of a sudden I went, oh, I get it. I get what I'm trying to do now. So like I said, blues is a bad habit to break, not only guitar playing wise, but it's a great habit to have too. But I think vocally it lends itself to very similar patterns, unless you're a really gifted singer, which I'm not. So that was the first album vocally I can give to someone and go, you know, this is as good as I am at the moment, or this is the best I could do at that particular time. So, yeah, it took time and no auto tune, just lots of takes, you know, to get and there's still flaws in it, but I didn't really want to spend another 3 months working on, you know, bits or fake it by pulling the tuning around. So that's all legit. You know, all the guitar solos were done as a take. All of the I did chop up some riffs out of songs and took some of the fills out and all that, but the parts were as they were. I wanted to keep it pretty simple on guitar. I wanted to just, you know, come up with songs that you could tap your foot to while you were driving. And yeah, I don't know. I'm still really happy with that album, mate.
Yeah, cool.
It's definitely my favorite.
Pop asked, what's banjo tuning? Open G. It's been my experience with banjos. Always open G.
Cool.
And then you can capo for the strings. Then you have your fifth one where you can tune it up. You tune it up or down depending on where you're capoing.
So are you on a computer at the moment? I just realized your guitar is not left-handed behind you.
Yes. Yeah, I'm using my laptop for Hangouts.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Yes.
Oh. All right. So Fender Guru says, how's Dr. Rick? Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's fired up to head overseas as well, which will be good. We've got a few days spare at the end where we're gonna see some sights, which will be awesome.
European adventure with Dr.
Yeah,
Rick.
that's it. Where's the list of people going to GetCon? I can't find anything. There's no public list. I don't think they've done that. You'll probably find maybe this week there'll be a video released via someone at the company or whatever that will probably announce that. I'm not 100% certain that's happening, but they asked us to film like a 15-second video, and I sent mine in last week. So they're supposedly putting together a video promo thing or something like that. But
cool.
Yeah, it should be good.
And so you were looking at the list, and there's a few YouTubers there that, you know, anybody you're looking forward to meeting in person for the first time?
Yeah, I'm keen to obviously meet Lewis in person. Like, we've chatted heaps, and I've never met him, the Tone King, in person before. So yeah, I'm keen to meet Andy as well, because there's a mutual friend that we have as well, which I don't think he's aware of, possibly. So that'll be kind of fun. The list isn't public. I did reel off some names earlier, but I'm sort of hesitant on saying, you know, these are the guys that'll be there, because the list has changed a few times already. For those who were here earlier when Steve asked about it, there was a couple of guys that aren't going, that said they were going, that aren't going now, and a few that might turn up. So I don't want to say, oh, these guys are coming, and then they don't. But I'm pretty sure the ones I mentioned before are. But in terms of, you know, it's funny. There's a lot of channels I didn't know about, and for whatever reason, and they're huge, and I had no idea about their channels. I just either didn't pop up in suggested videos, or you know, the names I hadn't heard of, and there's quite a few of those as well. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really too sure. I'm not really too sure at the moment who will either, like, I'm keen to meet anybody, right? Like, it's whether or not we shoot a video together or not's another thing. And I'm not putting any pressure on anyone for doing videos with me if they don't want to, or vice versa. I'm just, like I said, I'm keen to sort of go and have some fun and Rick and I are more live.
I'm looking forward to NAMM is just meeting a lot of these people. Hopefully, like it's a big event, but you hopefully randomly meet it up with a lot of people in person that I've either been watching or become friends with as well. Because honestly, it's like I'm going to try to talk with various companies and, establish relationships or whatever. But compared to the majority of the other YouTubers that are there, like I'm not expecting companies to fall over themselves to work with me, type thing. So I look at it as, just establishing, getting my name out there, touch base with a bunch of people and, like say, get to meet up with a lot of friends.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's, there's a few guys. I'm just looking at the list now. There's a lot of guys that I don't really know. Like I've definitely not watched many of their videos up until I saw this list. I went, oh, wow, this guy went under the radar. Like I just mentioned, Gearman Dude will be there probably. I'm just trying to find out. Pete Thorne will be there as well, by the looks of it, which will be kind of cool.
Monster player.
Yeah. But, to be honest, though, I don't really watch a lot of his videos because it's not because he's not good at what he does. He's great at what he does, but it's just more gear stuff that I get enough of that sort of stuff come through. And I love what he does. He's phenomenal at it. A great player. He writes his own songs per video and all that kind of stuff. But I don't sit there and watch a lot of that kind of content. If I'm watching guitar stuff, it's generally different videos. It's not just straight up product stuff because it's like if you work in an IT job and then you come home and you do the same thing at home all night. You know what I mean? Like
and YouTube's grown to the point where now a new product drops and it's like everyone's told don't post the video till this date. And all of a sudden I get 6 or 8 videos drop within a few hours of all the same product, and it's like I want to support my friends, but it's like
that strategy is not good. You'll notice I've not once done that.
Yeah,
I've never had I've either been after the fact or first with a lot of stuff. Not everything, obviously. There's a lot of stuff I'm never first with as well. But I've never been in a situation where a company said, "Oh, we need you to hold off until this time and then release it then." I'll be like, "No, it doesn't work like that." I'll do it 3 weeks later if that's the case. So I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing for just spamming a whole bunch of stuff out at the same time.
Yeah,
I don't really like that.
Yeah, and I did it once only because I had the opportunity to for the Player Series guitars. But
cool.
Yeah, and and it was literally when I uploaded it or published it, it was myself and Anderson's. That was it. So it had a nice little bump, and it still gets hits. Like I noticed, that's how I know it's time to upload some new content. So like when you see your views are down. But I look at what's being viewed, and it's always the gear demos. They always generate views because people there's always somebody that decides they want to buy a Mexican Telecaster, or something, whatever.
Totally.
So, and I get that.
A lot of the stuff that I'm lucky in a way, I got a lot of videos that get a lot of traffic all of the time. Even if I stopped making videos, I'd probably get close to 60,000 views every 48 hours. Give or take, maybe 50. But just say 50,000. So it's not a lot, but it's still pretty good. And a lot of those are those videos that continually do well. But there's 3 types of videos that do well. Popular videos that hold people's attention on a product, like a new guitar, like you mentioned. Something that's helpful is popular forever. There's a few videos I've got showing people how to use something or whatever. Those videos do consistently well all of the time, and that's a good way to grow. Have something that's popular in the moment, or have something that can be popular long term. Any tutorial videos and stuff like that. Or look at those lesson video guitar channels, for example. Those are always popular videos because people want to learn songs. So they scroll back and they watch it again. They scroll back, they watch it again. That's how those videos go up in the ranks.
Right.
So if you only get part of a video watched, your channel's obviously not going to grow so much as a video that would get a lot of retention. So there's those things you got to take those things into consideration as well. And that's, I think, part of the strategy for making videos is try to hold people's attention for longer. which means you have to make better content. This isn't you. This is me talking about how I look at it now. So if I'm not making just a gear video, I'm trying to think what would work as a long-term video. And I don't even care if it gets 1,000 views the first 24 hours. It doesn't bother me. It's like a lot of the popular videos got popular a month after they went up. And then all of a sudden they had 100,000 views like that. So it's sometimes the way I look at it now is just trying to do videos that are either helpful, you know, informative in some way, or yeah, I still do the gear stuff because I enjoy that, and I try to still get stuff now that's different. But the Guitar Search Saturday videos are by far my most popular videos. The retention rate on those is huge. People rewatch them, and they, you know, I can see that people are watching the playlists and all that kind of stuff. So
I know,
yeah, it has to be. Oh, thanks. So I just try to mix the content up. I've got a couple of new series I'm working on coming up as well, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I just like trying new things and seeing what happens. It's always a learning experience, and the problem with gear, especially like effects pedal videos, aren't really worth, if you want to make a living on YouTube, guitar effects pedals aren't the way to go. Like they're my least popular thing, but you know, it sort of supports my cost of living by doing it. You know, like I end up reselling a lot of the stuff that I get, and but yeah, it's it's also good to have. You know, I look at everything as an opportunity almost as well. A lot of people will turn stuff down if the company's not paying them. I don't work like that at all. I just think if I'm one of the first guys to put a video up about something, it might take off. I was lucky. I did that a number of times, and some of those videos have had hundreds of thousands of views. Like, you know, the EHX Soul Food. I was one of the first guys to put a video up of that. And that's had like, one of those two videos has had like
watching it.
100,000 views or something crazy. So I've had I've got one video with 2 million views. You know, like it's stuff you don't expect to sometimes do well. And then other times I plan to go, you know what? I'm going to try and put together a video that I know will do well and have a good thumbnail, and it's worked. And other times I've used the same strategy and it hasn't. So it's so unpredictable. But
I see somebody in the chat said he's looking forward to meeting you in a couple of weeks. We have China Guitar Skeptic here.
Oh, cool. Yeah. We should have. Oh, I should have had him on today. It would have been cool. He's from. Actually, it's probably pretty early in the morning in England. I'm guessing. Is it? Yeah, in England. So
it'd be let me think, 3 a.m. in England.
Yeah. Oh well, maybe he hasn't gone to sleep yet. So there you go.
I'm thinking being a musician probably on that side rather than up early, right?
No, I'm looking forward to it as well. It should be good. Where we'll work out something to do video wise, and yeah, it'd be cool.
Awesome. Well, we've gone a couple hours here. I think I'm going to wrap things up. I want to definitely thank you, Shane, for coming on. It's been awesome hanging out.
No worries.
We had Steve earlier. And everybody in the chat, this has been awesome. Somebody reported earlier we had 50 people watching and 41 thumbs up, so I appreciate that, guys. That's awesome. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and ring that bell so you're notified when we put up some content. And excuse me, we've got some links down below as well to some cool channels to check out. And yeah, I had a great time. So as I always say, hold those doors open. Let that guy in ahead of you in traffic. Do good things, and good things will happen to you. And until next time, folks, like I said, we probably won't go live Thursday night because it's day 2 of Richie's bachelor party. So we'll see. Maybe we'll just come on and say hi real quick. I'm not too sure. So cheers, folks. And I definitely will be doing a show next Sunday. Thanks all.
Cool. All right. Thanks for having me.